Think you know your geography? Here are 11 facts everyone believes that turned out to be completely wrong. Keep score as you go. How many of these did you actually believe? We start with the most famous geographical myth in history. You can see the Great Wall of China from space. Everyone knows that, except it isn't true. This claim appears in textbooks, documentaries, and tourist brochures around the world. The wall stretches 21,000 kilometers, nearly half the circumference of the Earth. But it's only 4 to 9 meters wide. That's narrower than a small road. Astronauts aboard the ISS confirmed they cannot spot the wall without optical aids. From orbit, the wall would appear thinner than a human hair. It is physically impossible to see. From the ISS you can make out cities, rivers, and even highways, but not the wall. Reservoirs, deserts, and large urban areas are visible from space. The Great Wall is not. Fact 1 checked. Myth busted. The next myth is about the maps we use every day. Greenland looks almost as big as Africa on the map. The map is lying. On the standard Mercator projection, Greenland appears roughly the size of Africa. If you cut Greenland off the map and placed it over Africa, they would nearly match. Now look at a globe. That is a completely different story. Africa covers 30 million square kilometers. Greenland covers 2 million. Africa is 14 times larger. The Mercator projection stretches everything near the poles. The further north, the bigger the distortion. The Mercator map was designed for sailors in 1569, not for comparing the sizes of countries. Russia also looks impossibly large on Mercator, even though Africa is actually bigger. Maps that show true sizes exist. We just all grew up with the wrong one. Fact 2 checked. The map you've seen your whole life lies about size. The Sahara is the world's largest desert. Are you sure about that? Think again. The Sahara covers nearly all of northern Africa, about 9 million square kilometers. Every textbook says it. The Sahara is the largest desert on Earth. But wait, Antarctica also receives less than 200 millimeters of precipitation per year. By definition, it is a desert. A desert is not about sand. It is any region that receives less than 250 millimeters of rain per year. Antarctica is a polar desert. It actually receives less precipitation than the Sahara. Antarctica averages around 50 millimeters of precipitation per year. The Sahara gets about 25. Both are deserts. The world's largest deserts in order: Antarctica, the Arctic, then the Sahara. The Sahara is only third. The largest is a white desert nobody talks about. Fact 3 checked. The Sahara is the third largest desert on Earth. Everest is the highest point on Earth, so it must be closest to the moon, right? Wrong. Mount Everest stands 8,849 meters above sea level. That is the official record. The logic seems simple: higher mountain, closer to space. But Earth has a secret. Earth is not a perfect sphere. It has an equatorial bulge. It is wider around the middle. Earth's radius at the equator is 21 kilometers greater than at the poles. Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador sits right on the equator. Its height is 6,263 meters. Measured from Earth's center, Chimborazo is actually farther from the core than Everest. Chimborazo is 2,148 meters further from Earth's center, which means it is closer to the moon. Astronomically, the point on Earth closest to the moon is in Ecuador, not Nepal. Fact 4 checked. The point closest to the moon is a small volcano in Ecuador. South America sits directly below North America. Seems obvious. It is an illusion. Look at the map. South America appears to hang below North America. Now draw longitude lines through both continents. Bogota, the capital of Colombia, is further east than New York City. Most of South America lies east of Florida. Lisbon, Portugal, is actually west of Caracas, Venezuela. Take a moment with that. If you overlay Africa and South America on the same longitude, they nearly line up. New York and Lima, Peru, sit at roughly the same latitude. But Lima is on the other side of the world. The real position of the Americas surprises even people who study geography. Fact 5 checked. South America is east of North America, not directly below it. Flying from New York to London, you fly east. Logical? Not quite. On a flat map, the route east looks like a straight line. That is the deception. The actual shortest route goes north over Greenland and Iceland. Flights from New York to London head northeast first, passing over Canada and Greenland. On a sphere, the shortest path is a great circle arc. A flat map hides this completely. The northern route over Greenland is 800 kilometers shorter than flying straight east. That is why every transatlantic flight looks like a curved arc on the in-flight map. The route looks strangely bent on your airplane screen, but that is the true shortest path. Airlines fly this route every day, saving millions of liters of fuel. Fact 6 checked. New York to London means flying northeast, not east. The equator cuts Africa in half. Is most of the continent north or south of it? At first glance, the equator appears to divide Africa roughly down the middle. In reality, the equator runs well south of the continent's center. The equator crosses Gabon, Congo, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, and several other countries. Nearly 2/3 of Africa lies north of the equator. From the equator to Africa's northern tip is 7,700 kilometers. To the southern tip, just 3,800. North Africa above the equator is twice the size of South Africa below it. Africa's true geographic center lies in the Central African Republic, well north of the equator. We think of Africa as an equatorial continent, but most of it is subtropical. Fact 7 checked. Africa is larger north of the equator than south of it. Australia is the world's largest island. True? Depends how you define things. Australia is a vast landmass in the Pacific Ocean, nearly 7.7 million square kilometers. Now consider Greenland, 2.1 million square kilometers, smaller than Australia. So why is Australia not the world's largest island? Because it is classified as a continent. Geologically and culturally, Australia meets the criteria for a continent, not an island. Greenland is the world's largest landmass that is not a continent, by every measure. So the world's largest island is Greenland. Australia does not appear on the island list. After Greenland come New Guinea, Borneo, Madagascar, and Baffin Island. Australia ranks 6th among continents, after Asia, Africa, North America, South America, and Antarctica. Fact 8 checked. The world's largest island is Greenland. Australia is a continent. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Pacific is west, Atlantic is east. Or is it? Most people assume. Ships enter from the west through the Pacific, exit east into the Atlantic. Look at a map of Panama. The canal does not run west to east, it runs northwest to southeast. The Pacific entrance to the canal is actually east of the Atlantic entrance. It seems impossible. The Pacific entrance to the Panama Canal sits about 27 arc-minutes east of the Atlantic entrance. Comes down to Panama's shape. The country curves like the letter S and the canal cuts through the narrow waist. Ships traveling from the Atlantic through the canal to the Pacific are actually moving west to east. The coordinates confirm it. Cologne on the Atlantic side is at 79.9 degrees west. Balboa on the Pacific at 79.5 degrees west. Overlay a compass on Panama's map and you see it instantly. East is to the left of the Atlantic shore. Fact 9 checked. The Pacific entrance to the Panama Canal is east of the Atlantic entrance. Europe and Asia are two separate continents. Every textbook says so. Nature disagrees. We were taught 7 continents. Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, Antarctica. But Europe and Asia are physically one continuous landmass. There is no sea, no break in the land. The border between Europe and Asia is the Ural Mountains, a convention, not a natural boundary. That border was drawn in the 18th century by Russian cartographer Vasily Tatashev for administrative reasons. Different countries teach different numbers of continents. Spain and Latin America teach 5 or 6, 4, 5, 6, or 7 continents. There is no single correct answer, all versions are conventions. China, Russia, and many European countries treat Eurasia as a single continent. Europe and Asia are cultural concepts, not geographic ones. The land itself does not recognize the division. Fact 10 checked. Europe and Asia are one continent, Eurasia, divided by agreement. Russia and the United States are adversaries separated by an ocean. The distance between them is 3.8 kilometers. Most people imagine Russia and the USA separated by thousands of kilometers of freezing ocean. But there is a place where the two countries are less than 4 kilometers apart. The Diomede Islands. Big Diomede belongs to Russia. Little Diomede belongs to the United States. The gap between them is 3.8 kilometers. On a clear day, residents of Little Diomede can see Russia with the naked eye. The strangest part, those two islands have a 21-hour time difference, across 3.8 kilometers of water. The international date line runs directly between the two islands. Big Diomede is an uninhabited Russian military post. Little Diomede is home to a small American community. In 1867, the United States bought Alaska from Russia for $7 million. The Diomedes became the border. Fact 11 checked. Russia and the United States are separated by 3.8 kilometers of cold water. The world is not quite what you thought it was. And this is only the beginning. A quick recap. The Great Wall, Greenland, the Sahara, Everest, the Americas, flight routes, Africa, Australia, Panama, Eurasia, the Diomedes. How many did you already know? If more than 5, you are in the top 10%. Know someone who thinks they know geography? Send them this video. Subscribe every week. Facts that will change how you see the world. Next video. 9 historical events where the date was not what you think.